Hey there. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you came back. It's nice to see all of you. Today, I want to dive into a topic that can be a little hard to talk about, but it's important. How do we live life fully when we know tomorrow's not guaranteed? Pretty hard because we spend most of our lives on autopilot. Now, I'm going to lie, I do it myself sometimes. I try not to, but it's really hard. So we plan for the future. We've got this coming up. We got that going on. We are putting some stuff off, thinking we've got all the time in the world. Tick tock, tick tock. No, we don't. But what if tomorrow didn't come? What if today was our last day? So, if I die tomorrow, how am I going to live fully today? First things first, it's important to acknowledge the reality we're all facing. Life is fragile. You, my friend, are not immortal. And every moment counts. Every single moment. I mean, that actually is kind of a big thought in itself. We don't always realize that today is our last day until we're faced with something unexpected, an emergency that came out of nowhere. So whether it's a personal loss, health scare, or a scare for somebody you love, I say we take a quiet moment and reflect on it. Talk it through. So I've had moments in my life where I have felt the truth so deeply on this topic about not being here tomorrow that it's one of the reasons I started this channel. And while it's not always easy to think about, facing this reality head on can actually give us a deeper appreciation for what we have right now. That gratitude, you find it. When we truly realize how precious our time is, it can shift the way we show up in this world, the way we show up to our friends, our family, our strangers. So let's talk about what it really means to live fully. It's not about doing everything on a bucket list or trying to pack everything into one day. I mean, wouldn't that be nice though? I mean, seriously. But if we could harness that, then I think a lot of people might misuse that. And then we'd lose the whole purpose and point of being human and knowing our time is limited. Anyway, it's about making each moment matter and living in a way that aligns with our values and principles. One of the most powerful ways to live fully is to be present. I don't mean physically present because, yeah, I could say I'm present while I'm sitting on the couch, or I spent time with my husband because I sat on the couch next to him when we watched TV. I wasn't really present. Do you know what I mean? I got lost in the TV, or I got lost in my own head. I'm not present, and I need to be present. They say that when you die, there actually, so there's some controversy on this, that when you die, you have like 7 minutes that your brain's still just going. And who do you want your 7 minutes to be? Well, if we don't spend any of our time being present, our 7 minutes is going to suck. God, it's going to suck. So, try to make today matter. Let go of the stress, the bullshit of day-to-day life, and be present. Somebody's talking to you, listen to hear, not to respond. Really hear them. Be engulfed in that moment so that you can remember it in your 7 minutes. So, think about how much we miss when we're not paying attention. We overlook the beauty in the ordinary. And that is something I've told my kids. I'm like, beauty is everywhere. You just have to look for it. Sometimes it's harder to see than others, but it's there, I promise you. And once you start looking for it, you see it more and more and more. And there's just this feeling you get from seeing the beauty and the awe of life. So, if we're not fully paying attention, you miss those tender moments. You miss the kindness from a stranger by them just acknowledging your presence with a smile or a nod. Or you miss feeling that hug from somebody that, let's face it, when they're gone, it's one of the things you want more than anything. So, all these little moments, they're what truly fills our hearts and makes life worth it. It makes going through all the bullshit worth it. And yet, it's one of the biggest things we take for granted. So, to live fully, we need to practice mindfulness. We need to be present with the people we love, with our work, and with ourselves. Yes, you need to be there for yourself. It's okay to spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes just being okay with who you are, listening to your inside voice. You know, we all have them. I talk to myself a lot. And they say if you answer yourself, then you're crazy. So I guess I must be crazy because I answer myself all the time. And sometimes my answers are not really me, per se. They're just a knowing that I have in my heart. So if we could just turn off the distractions for a few minutes and just breathe. It's okay just to breathe. And soak in what's really going on around you and where you are right now. We can't experience the fullness of life if we're always rushing ahead. I know sometimes we want to fast forward through the shit, but you can't. And that shit is part of what makes you who you are. And it's part of what makes this life important because it shows you what the important things are. So, next, in living fully, is prioritize what truly matters. Sorry, I have an itch on my face. If tomorrow wasn't guaranteed, would you be spending your time the way you are? And the time that you are spending, does it bring you joy? Does it bring you fulfillment? Does it give you the warm and fuzzies? Or does it make you go, ugh? Try and connect with others. Find that peace inside yourself. And you know what? I am going to tell you right now, if you're alone, find a way to be alone without being lonely. Just because you're by yourself doesn't mean you're alone. And so many times we forget that. So try to find a way to connect with the people in your life. Figure out what really matters and move forward. Take your foot, lift it up, and move. So, whether it's pursuing your passions or spending time with family or simply resting and recharging, the things that truly matter are often the things that we forget to prioritize in the hustle of life. I'd like you to take a step back and ask yourself what really matters to me and how can I give that more attention? Once you find your answer, so there's your question for today. How do I find what really matters to me and make it a priority? Leave it for me in the comments. What you found, what came to your head. The first answer that pops in your head is usually the answer that means the most. But we always try and change that because our heart and our head fight all the time. And it's because our brain is logical and our heart feels. And we have choices to make. And please remember, you are more than the choices you make. And if you don't like where your life is right now, make a different choice. You've always got the option and the ability to make a choice. You may not like the choices that you're faced with, but again, if you step back and think about how you got there, then you know why you have the choices you have. And guess what? It's never only two choices. This world is not black and white, sweetie. It's got colors everywhere. And I love that. So, again, ask yourself that question. Leave it for me in the comments. Living fully also involves cultivating gratitude. Something that can radically shift how we experience each day. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it is a practice. It's actively looking for the good, the beauty, even on the tough days. So if I woke up tomorrow and it was my last day, I'd want to make sure that I'm thankful for every single moment that I had of my last day. And I'd want to make sure that anybody I encountered felt that I was fully present, that I appreciated them, and that I was grateful for the time I spent with them. So, some days it's going to be easier, some days it's going to be harder, and some days it's going to be damn near impossible. But it is possible. Don't lose your hope. Find your gratitude. Ground yourself. Be present. And remember that even on the hard days, it's worth it. It's all worth it. So, it can be one of the hardest but most freeing things that we can do. And this is where it's going to be hard to be grateful and present. But you've got to let go of your fears, like what I'm doing now, and regrets. Because those will just weigh you down. And fear is more about things we haven't accomplished yet. And regrets are about things we'd wish we'd done differently. But guess what? We can still change that. We may not be able to change the past, but we can change our future for today if it's our last. So, live fully, embrace the unknown, take a few risks. Granted, they might have to be calculated, so you can't always fly by the seat of your pants, which I do that a lot. I think it drives my husband crazy. But it is something that I'm working on. And allow yourself to release your regrets and grow from your past, your mistakes, your choices. Because at the end of the day, it's not about being perfect. It's about living authentically and showing up as who you are, which is beautifully human. And you know, on your journey to this, if you've got to do the ugly cry, do the ugly cry. You got to get pissed off, but then let that shit go because it's not going to serve you and it's not going to make the lives of the people around you any better either. So be beautiful, be beautifully human, even with snot pouring out your nose. Wipe it and move on. And then finally, living fully means making a positive impact on the world around us. And don't give me this crap, you're one person. What change could you make in this big ass world? Guess what? There are people in your life that you affect and you change them, whether you know it or not. And because we are such a bred society to not always show our gratitude and be appreciative, they may not say it, or they take for granted that you just know. So you can make it. You can make an impact bigger than you ever imagined. So prioritize what matters. Practice some gratitude. Let go of the fear. Make a difference in the lives of others. And it doesn't always have to be a big superhero action moment. Sometimes it just needs to be a moment. It's those small, meaningful moments that add up and make the biggest impact to everyone, including yourself. So, if I die tomorrow, view today as a gift. Let's make the most of it. I thank you for watching and joining me again. And I hope to see you next week when I do this all over. And don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe if you feel like it. I'd appreciate it. I'm not even going to lie. And be humble. Be gracious. Be kind. See you next time.